guys, I'm jumping on the bandwagon and I am going to make some face coverings. I'm going to get the language right. I keep saying face masks, but face coverings. And I bought some really nice fabric, but I also had quite a few funky different colours. And my plan is to make quite a few and to give them out to the neighbours. Okay, so these three masks here are my favourites, and them. This one has been done with some free machine embroidery. I had actually done that a little while ago, but I hadn't done anything with it, and I thought, oh, that'd be great to make it into a face covering. And you can see these two, I've used some lace on them and layered them up with another colour. I've also lined some of them with white and some of them with the same fabric. I've got a pattern which I'll link down below, and these are the sorts of equipment and resources you're going to need. If you're cutting out your fabric with one of these rotary cutters, use a cutting mat, otherwise you can use some scissors. So first of all, you need to get your mask templates, and this one is for teenagers and women, and you need a lining fabric and you need a main fabric. Then I cut out two more from card because they're much easier to draw around on the fabric and your templates won't get hammered, so it'll be easier to use the card. So you get a piece of fabric, you double it over, you iron it, and then you test that you can get both of those and the other one, like so. So they both fit. So for the free motion embroidery, you need to just make sure that you have your card right up to the edge where you've doubled it over, and get your fabric pen, and you can just draw around your template, because the first one I'm going to do here is for the free motion embroidery, so for this one. And then I'm also going to draw around the lining one, so nice and carefully right up to the edge. So I've got two pieces, and you obviously want to make sure that your pattern is going to fit inside. So I might just sort of see that it can go from about there to about there. So what I'm doing here is I'm drawing the hat that I made not so long ago, and I'm just drawing it in the middle of the face covering there, just in a pencil, HB pencil, nice light pencil, line drawing, and you can see that it is placed sort of in the centre of it. And now I'm getting my larger embroidery hoop underneath and the smaller one on top, and I'm just screwing it up to make it nice and tight, and then I'm stretching the fabric so the fabric's nice and taut, and I've decided on the colours that I'm going to use there, thread colours that is. So what I start by doing is using the darning foot to do free motion embroidery, and I'm doing a circular motion there, as I don't want to get the stitches too thick when I'm sewing, because otherwise you get a tangle underneath the fabric. And then I'm just outlining, filling in, and I'm starting on a new colour there, starting with the lightest colour and then building up to the darker colours. Okay, so I'm doing my highlights, then I do my mid-tones, and then I do my darker tones. So I've got a range of colours that I'm using, and I'm just starting to put in some greens in there, and I had some turquoise, and then I've gone with a dark blue for some shadows that are in the curvy bits of the hat. And then I'm just I used a bit of coral thread colour, and I'm putting some paler pink into it as well. These were the colours that I ended up using, and also the coral. And now I'm just going to cut out my patterns, the lining and the main piece. These rotary cutters are fab, by the way. They make your life so much quicker and easier. So you do need a cutting mat, like I said, to use that. And then what I'm going to do is face the fabrics right side facing. So both bits of your fabrics are right side facing. Then once I've done that, I'm going to sew around the curved bits. You do need to pin those, put a couple of pins in. I'm pinning from the outside in so that I can easily pull the pins out as I'm sewing. Make sure your fabric's nice and flat. And then I'm changing the foot to the normal presser foot, and I'm going to use runner stitch, that's straight stitch, all the way through the pins. I'm lining up my presser foot to the edge of the fabric and guiding the fabric with my hands. Meanwhile, I'm pulling out those pins on the right hand side, which is why we pinned them in that way originally. And after you've done both pieces, you need to just snip the curves. That kind of helps when you turn the fabric the right way around. The fabric will remain nice and curved inside. So there you go. Once you've got them the right way around, give them a bit of an iron on both sides, front and the back, and on both pieces. Always press your work as you go along. So after you've done that, you turn your pieces the right way around. So looking good. Once you've done that, you need to do the right sides facing once again, and make sure that the two top seams are lined up, and then you start pinning in over the top curve, and you also pin down at the bottom. Just shuffle your lining fabric to match up to the length of the main fabric, and then you can just put your pins in once again, and we're ready to sew along the top part and along the bottom. So once again, I'm lining up my presser foot to the edge of the fabric, and that will give you a nice measured line all the way across. When I started off sewing, by the way, I go forwards and backwards just to strengthen the edges. And then just watch out when you're going over the seam in the middle. You just need to flatten it with your presser foot. And keep nice and steady. And I'm just helping the fabric be pushed along gently with my hands there. So right off the edge, trim all the threads, and then we're back to snipping the curved edge there at the top of the face covering. Once you've done that, you can turn it the right way around. So make sure all the seams are pushed the right way around, and I'm just shuffling the fabric around and manipulating it to get it nice and flat, ready for ironing again. So I'm just ironing the front and the back again. And I've also ironed the edges of the fabric. So I folded down the edges 3 times, and that is where the elastic is going to be threaded through. So you need to measure out 19 centimetres on 2 parts of elastic. I put a safety pin at one end, and then you kind of shuffle the elastic through the seam, and you kind of pick it up on the other side like so. Then you can take the safety pin out and do the other end.
and then you just sew the edges and shuffle the elastic into the seam, and there we have it. So for the lace face covering, you do exactly the same process, but just layer lace over the front and the back. So over your front and the back of the main fabric, and choose whatever colour you want to go underneath the lace. So you could have pink or other colours, whatever you would like. So you can see I went mad and just really enjoyed making lots of different masks. Loads of different colours and fabrics, loved it. And here I am just organising, putting them into little parcels to post around the neighbours' houses. I just used some little sweetie bags I had and some stickers and a little card to go in them.
Hope you enjoyed this video, guys, today, and if you did, then it'd be great if you would subscribe. That would be super duper. And if you fancy giving me a thumbs up because you like this video, that would also be great. And yeah, hit the notification button if you want to hear about my videos immediately. That would be super. Really enjoying doing these projects. I will see you next Tuesday. Take care now.